So we are here with the 3 riders who conquered Siberia on 3 Bajaj Dominar bikes. This is kind of like an achievement very few people have done. It's a 53-day ride, 6 countries. I believe it's over 15,000 kilometers. Yeah. So we'd like to know about your experience, but we'd go by question. So first question would be like, how different is your bikes from the stock bike?
They are, apart from the external mods, it is stock engine,
okay, so
stock transmission.
What are the external mods that you have done?
Windscreen, knuckle guards, bash plate, and the saddle stays, and the rear tire was a normie.
The front and back tires, the tires have changed.
So what are you using currently?
We used Continental TKC 80, which was sourced to us by a good friend of ours in Delhi, Rahul from Transformers. You know, for the kind of terrain that we went, it was very important that we use the right tires.
Yes.
Then we've had the saddle stays that were done by Sahyadri. We were amongst the first ones on which the prototype was designed and mounted.
Okay.
Because Dominar came into the market in the beginning of Jan, right?
Yes.
And we connected with Bhushan by the mid of March. And then, you know, like he started working on the frame, and what you see is a product of the initial conceptualization of the saddle stays that are eventually now in the market.
Okay. And what about the suspension? You have done any work?
No, it's all stock.
Okay, so let me tell you very clearly.
Okay.
We've received a stock bike from the production lineup from Bajaj. There were 3 bikes that were handed to us.
Okay.
What you see differently, other than a stock bike, is what we have done outside.
Okay.
Like the front beak. Because we changed the dimension of the tire, we had to cut the original mudguard because the tire was not sitting in there. So to avoid the mud splash, we had to use the front beak, which is looks like an adventure bike. Yeah.
For riding gears, what would you say? What
Spartan. Spartan gave us the entire range of gear, head to toe.
Okay. Anything special for the cold, like apart from riding
thermal? There is a thermal liner that comes along with the Odessey range. It is a new, I mean, it's been there, but the color combination is something that, you know, Spartan guys worked and designed it for us.
It was like the normal riding gear with the liners were enough to handle the cold in Siberia.
Yeah,
we
because
also used our own inner thermal.
That everybody uses.
So that was the liner that we wear inside. That was your inner coat.
And after that, like normal thermals, like you get from Rupa and Java.
Exactly. So apart from that, it was the inner liner from the riding gear that we had.
So the jackets which we had, they were specially made for us with slight modification of the Odessey range.
Okay.
So we had the vents where we could open up a certain patch which had a mesh for the hot climate. Whereas it was
and
extreme
how cold did it get? Like for the temperature, how low have you seen?
About -5, -8. But normal, you know, in certain pockets there were continuous days in the, you know, -1, 0, -2.
How did you guys came up with the idea that you could go to this place?
The inception was in 2014. So me and my friend.
That was before the Dominar came.
Way behind. So 2014.
Back then, did you have any idea of which
Dominar
bike?
was launched at a time, you know, like when this plan fell into place. So I mean,
so
we didn't really think
that,
of
what bikes were you thinking of taking?
Initially, we thought if not anything, if there was no option, we both have KTMs 390s. So we thought we'll just mod that and take it. So later, then we thought we'll.
I ride a 390 myself. I can understand how that's going. Can work.
Yeah. So then the timing was just perfect for us when in Jan Bajaj came up with the Dominar, because you know how the.
So did you guys approach
differ.
Bajaj for the bikes, or did you purchase it out of the brand?
So it was just the right timing. So there was a mutual friend through which
buy it out. We approached them and it was given to us.
They were probably very enthusiastic to learn of this plan. Obviously, it's a huge thing for any brand to get this kind of feat done, because otherwise, even if you like spend millions on promotions, you cannot get this done. To be honest,
moreover,
to be honest, this is something extraordinary.
And another thing is, both parties were very proud of it. Bajaj guys and us, because taking an Indian-made product all this way.
That was something.
It's never been done before.
So this was in planning for 2 years, and finally you guys made it.
No.
3 years.
For them, it's 3.
Okay.
For me, probably, you know, like less than a year.
Okay,
so would you know MTM? I'm sure you have a question. So I have a question for you. Do you know MTM?
No, I don't.
Okay, so MTM is a motorcycle travelers meet. MTM.
Okay.
Okay, it's a very
Alright.
niche platform of
Alright.
like very serious riders.
Okay,
We're not talking about breakfast rides,
Yeah.
right?
I can see
So
that.
we are talking about people who have a serious passion to travel, go out within India. You go out to certain pockets, spend a lot of time, understand the region, collect a lot of data, share it with the fellow people who are also on the same platform, giving you an option.
So this is like online, or you actually go somewhere?
Facebook is
Okay.
where we usually
It is
exchange ideas.
it's once in a year meet
Okay.
that happens.
Okay.
So when stories are told, people get inspired, right? So my inspiration towards getting on the Road of Bones was Dan Popescu from a Romanian national. I mean, he's the first person to have done the Road of Bones in Siberia during winter, when the temperatures were between -20 and -50.
Yeah.
So these boys have been working on the Road of Bones, from various other inspirations that they've had. So we met on this common platform called MTM, and that's how the plan met up last October, which is 2016 October.
Yeah.
And by March, we had a foolproof plan in place, which was presented to Bajaj. Bajaj took 10 days to say, let's do it.
All right.
And that's how the Dominar Trip 360 Trans-Siberian Odyssey fell in place.
Yeah.
Now, you might also want to know, what is Trip 360? What is Trip 360?
Go ahead.
Trip 360 is an adventure vertical of Cox & Kings, which is a
Okay.
260-year-old travel and tourism company.
Yeah.
And Trip 360 is into all kinds of adventure verticals. They will, it's a real taste of adventure. So they came on board as our partners for logistics and documentation, like our visas and air tickets. So that's how the name Dominar Trip 360 Trans-Siberian Odyssey fell into place.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. Like, how you guys obviously didn't manage permissions because you had a brand taking care of that.
No, we did a lot of work.
Okay.
The paperwork and everything, the visas.
So what type of paperwork? That is like people
So
who
we-
might be interested in doing anything out of the country will be beneficial. Like a lot of people, including me, I just wanted to do that ride from Calcutta to Thailand. You have this
Yeah.
new highway that's coming up. So that's why even I'm curious to know that what type of permissions do you need, especially for the motorcycles.
So yeah, so that I guess so the most important thing, just as the people have visa,
Yeah.
the bikes need to have something called as Carnedi Passage. If the countries participate in that program,
Which
Carnedi Passage,
okay, Carnet.
it's one permit which
Uh-huh.
allows you to take your bike out of India and back to India.
Yeah.
So without it, you won't be, even if you import,
So how do you
export it.
get that exactly? What
There's an
is-
association called as WIAA in Bombay.
Okay.
So you apply to them with the details of the bike, you keep a deposit and then a certain fee.
What
It's a
to-
200% deposit of
Yeah.
the assessed value of your bike, and they're going to assess it.
The current
The
market
Western India
value.
Automobile Association. See, it's a
So that's going to be a lot of money.
absolutely
yes,
it is.
yes.
200% is a lot of money.
So for Indians, that is the biggest deterrent, because even when you come back, it takes about few months for that deposit to come back to you. Even if you manage to arrange that kind of deposit,
Is it refundable?
the deposit
Provided
is,
you get your bike back.
the deposit is refundable, but the fee is not.
75,000 is the fee.
The book cost.
The book cost, which has got about 10 or 15 booklet sheets. So every country you pass through, you need to have a import and an export seal on it.
Yeah.
Even though there are many countries which do not entertain this Carnedi Passage because most of the countries have treated it as obsolete. So without that, no vehicles can get out of India. Yeah.
Right.
So I guess we have a bigger.
Yeah. So that will be all. We have got all the main questions.
You haven't. You've just got about 1/10 of 10th.
Probably there with the.
We have not even started our journey, man.
Proud stories anyways inside.
Stories, that. No, the main questions by which I meant that people wanted to know certain things, which are like the technical details, like how you got this.
I think
through,
it'll be a very
how you
interesting
started
session.
this journey.
Yeah. So when
Because-
we sit there, we're
By
gonna
the way,
really.
another last final question is that did you have any videography or anything with you? Like
It's just us, no backup,
Okay,
nothing.
okay.
It's just three of
We were
us.
the support for each other, and we had to do the entire stuff. So we start from here until the end.
did you run into any parts or anything, any issues like probably with 3 bikes you're not carrying too many extra parts.
See, we
apart
had
from the
few-
smallest,
few
yeah.
small parts, and we had arrangement from Bajaj to ship the parts which we couldn't get it because we always ran ahead of the pit stops. So eventually we didn't have to do anything. We only did the regular service and do oil
But
changes.
how did you get charges like servicing done there?
Whenever we had a chance, we did ourselves. So that's how we did it.
We just had to, the basic servicing done, the oil changes, and one set of filters changed. And the next time we didn't have the spare, so we just washed it and put it back. So we ran pretty much, and one tire change. The rear tires were changed midway.
Does make a lot
For the last leg, just for the last 2,000 kilometers, we changed one rear tire. Apart from that, we've been running whatever that left India.
Okay. Thanks for your time. Join you inside.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.